Well, it's Saturday, which is normally a case for jollification because it's the start of the weekend. But it's been pretty grim so far. The death of Sir Sean Connery and a new potential month-long lockdown in England. Not looking forward to that either. And now we've got the news, some more Atari VCS news. What I'll do is I'll talk about what's in this very brief update, and also go into a little bit of a video from one of the developers who's got a dev kit from Atari, and then we'll have a look and see what's in the comments on this latest missive from Atari. Oh, and at the top of this, they're supporting something about voting, telling you to go out and vote. Well, Americans, you have the vote up to, I think you can vote early, I understand. We don't get that option in the UK. You just vote on the day. But, yep, go and make your vote however you want to vote. I don't mind people voting any particular way, as long as you have a reason to vote that way. As I say, no matter who you vote for, the government always get in. So say the Bonzo Dog Doodah Band. But back to this, and Atari is saying, we are pleased by recent surges in pre-orders and excited that the Atari VCS will come to market in 2020. Well, it's really pushing it in sort of cyberpunk terms, albeit in fewer quantities than our team had planned. Oh, what a surprise. Component shortages across the supply chain for something that was supposed to come out 3 years ago, which have caused delays throughout the year, have severely constrained our production capacity. Atari expects to fulfill 100% of our backer orders, I'm sure, and a small number of pre-orders before the end of the year, but we do not expect to significantly ramp up our full retail production until January 2021. It's not happening at all. Indiegogo backer fulfillment in mid-November? I should have a question mark on the end, really. Our Indiegogo backers will receive their Atari VCS orders this year. All of the collector's edition units, Onyx units, and modern controllers are either in our US warehouse or in transit, because we don't know, and scheduled to arrive before the end of October. Production of the classic joystick, which has been held up due to a very scarce component, is now underway, and they are scheduled to start departing the factory on November 5th. Atari to expedite joystick with air shipment. Yes, they're now importing the first batch of classic joysticks from the factory in China via air freight, rather than using traditional ocean shipping in order to limit the impact of the production delay. Air freight will reduce the travel time from around 6 weeks to approximately 10 days and help ensure deliveries to backers before the holidays. We call it Christmas in the UK, but now it's in America, it's the holidays. But they still reckon they will get a limited number of pre-orders delivered before the holidays. A small quantity of Atari VCS 800 Black Walnut all-in bundles will be produced and shipped before the end of the year, with pre-orders being fulfilled in the order that they were made until we run out of supply. None, then. The biggest constraint to VCS production has been a specific part related to the AMD Ryzen CPU. That's a CPU that's no longer made because you were meant to have it in the machine 3 years ago and it never came out, and now they stopped making them. Ha ha ha! While our team continues to try to source the part, the earliest delivery we have been promised to date is not until mid-January, assuming the part does arrive at that time. Not a chance. In the full quantity we have ordered, we will be able to fulfill all our remaining pre-orders in early 2021, fat chance, and also begin to release units to the tens of thousands of people on our waiting list, as well as our retail partners. Looking ahead to 2021, as the supply chain recovers further and components and materials become more readily available, we expect the manufacturing situation to improve accordingly, even though we're all going to be going back into lockdown and having fire breaks or circuit breakers or whatever Dominic Cummings wants to call it. It's getting depressing, isn't it? But maybe we have some good news from Jani Penttinen from Utopos Games, who looks a little bit like Metal Jesus Rocks, except without the dodgy goatee. Men, none of you suit those things. Don't bother with beards or goatees, you look ridiculous. So he shows the booting up of the unit, and I've shortened it here, but when you actually watch it, it takes quite a long time for it to boot up. And is this supposed to have an SSD inside? In which case, why is it taking so long? I mean, even Windows 10 only takes like a minute or so, maybe a couple of minutes at most. And this is taking ages. And also, when it comes up, there's just the Atari VCS vault in there. So if you've only paid your $400, you'll just get the console and the controller and this VCS vault. So if you've not spent any more money on Atari, you'll have a very empty looking home screen. Wouldn't it have been better to sort of, adjust the home screen such that if there's not so much in there, then whatever is there will sort of take up more of the screen to make it, make the cupboard less bare. But anyway, back to the game itself. So we've got Guntech, which is a remake of his old game called Utopos, hence Utopos Games. That opening does have a very sort of The Last Starfighter vibe. A great film from 1984, one of my favourites as a kid. But as for the game, it just kind of looks like a game that will play on anything, even a mobile phone. And also, it's a very brief first level, and watching all these other levels, they also look extremely brief. There's also some more direct videos on his Guntech channel, which he links to, which they have a heavy rock soundtrack behind them. So I've muted them here, partly for music copyright claims, but also partly because I was being deafened. I would also ask, when he's talking to the camera, why does he never actually look at the camera? That's anyone's guess. But back to the Atari VCS, and let's see what's in the comments. I bet one of them is from Mars saying excellent. It usually is. Who do we have first? Charity Hochberg. What a great name. Wow. Read more. Let's just open that up so we've got it all in one go. Wow, you guys really know how to string people along. At this point, backers, myself included, should be receiving interest on the payment we made 2 years ago, over 2 years ago. Yeah, it doesn't work that way, unfortunately. Honestly, every few days I think about whether or not I could just contact you to cancel my order and get a refund. Every few days? If you've been thinking every few days for 2.5 years, you should have cancelled already. But after this wait that seems like an eternity, I have to see what you created with my own eyes. So he's a sucker for punishment. Take a look at Analog's Twitter post from the other day to customers, myself included, that purchased an NT Mini Noir in mid-2019. They had one delay and overcame their component shortage. I had a look at that. I wasn't quite sure what he was talking about, but it's you'd be spending about, was it $300, $400 on a console that plays original NES games? Is that it? Just $300? I think it was at least $300 for a fancy shell that plays NES games. Something like that. Christ, what a friggin' rip-off. At this point, you should be bending over backwards to make sure your backers get what they paid for so long ago. If and when the VCS units do start shipping to backers, I sincerely hope they're being shipped overnight and at no additional cost to show up on our doorsteps within 24 hours of UPS FedEx taking possession of the units. That's the least you can do to make up for the calamity of errors you made. Recoup your losses on those who are about to purchase units in the coming months. There's one clap, someone's given a clap, and one comment. I posted a comment on this when he posted it. Yeah, there's my comment. I'll be honest, I'm a little delayed in covering this because on Wednesday this week I had an MRI scan, and you go into one of those little tube things and they fill you full of contrast dye, and the latter half of the week I felt a little bit out to lunch. So yeah, Saturday I'm finally coming around a little bit, but yeah, you still think it's coming? Ooh, someone's replied to me as well. Wait, or is that me? Let's have a look. Oh, nice. Robinson, you chunky face git troll. Go suck a... Well, that's very nice. Is there a way to report that? Report this response. Ooh, spam harassment? Harassment? Rules violation? Which one is it? I think... it's a bit of both, isn't it? Let's go rules violation. There we go. You are broken, aren't you? Sad little man. And it says more from DVDfeverGames, but there's no more comments from me on this. Let's look at the other responses. I've not commented on any of these. Oh, mercy. Ray Podan Dorster, fantastic update. I can't wait to have an Atari Christmas for 2020. Maybe one of the best things I got during the current times. Thanks, Atari. Got 9 claps. David Micklow, is anybody really surprised at this point? The thing should have been released like a year ago. Why do you keep kicking the can down the road? You make all these promises to your backers and hype this thing up in order to fill your coffers, and then when it comes time to actually deliver, you pull the rug out from under them at the last minute. So many missed opportunities. The more time goes by, the less people are going to care. It's not coming anyway. And there's only one more comment. Nothing from Mars. Unless he's blocked me, because it says 5 comments, but I can only see 4. Anyway, Zoiks, what is the part? Specific part related to the AMD Ryzen CPU. Yeah, who knows? Well, I just tried to see what the missing comment might be, because I can only see 4 on here. I just signed out of Medium in case anyone had blocked me from seeing their comments. But no, maybe the 5th comment is mine there. But then when that idiot replied to mine, maybe that made 6. I don't understand. Who knows? Oh, what a weird day. It's turning into a very weird day indeed. Anyway, whatever the situation, please let me know what you think in the comments below. In the meantime, please like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe if you haven't already. Click on the little bell for all the notifications, and cue Genesis.